G'day gang, Simo and Ed here.
Hi there.
It's the Simo and Ed show and we are talking all things business and karting. So, what are we going to talk about today, Ed?
Well, we've just finished talking about a really important number to build your go-kart track. ACV, it forms the basis of the kart track profit system program that we've developed. The next number we're going to talk about is LTV. Now, if you don't know what ACV is, you've got to go and look back at the video. If you're listening, we might refer to it in its full name so you can work it out. But LTV is...
Lifetime customer value.
Woohoo! So now that would be LTCV, but that's cool. We're going to call it lifetime value of customer. I don't know.
Oh, acronyms, you know.
They've all got. Why have every acronym got to be 3 letters? I don't know why that is true. It's a universal truth. Every acronym has to be 3 letters long. No, but we talked all about ACV last time. Let's talk about LTV. The lifetime value of a customer is just such a massive way now to grow your track numbers. Who do you think is the easiest to sell to? Somebody you've never met before.
No, it's a multiple guess, is it?
Yeah, it's going to be a choice of 2.
I'll go for the other one. So, people who are already a customer.
Correct. And yet, where does pretty much every business owner start to look for new business?
They look for new customers, don't they?
It's crazy.
Mm.
If you had to sort of describe like the journey to go and get a new customer from cold, you've got to do so much work. It's like climbing a mountain, and you're never quite sure where the summit is half the time, and then finally you get this new customer. Once somebody's already bought from you once, they're so much easier to come and invite back to a track. And yet, so much time, energy, resources from kart track owners goes into trying to get somebody new down the track, and I don't get it. And it's not just a track owner. I mean, this is true in a lot of business, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's stinking thinking, is what that is. If you could spend your time anywhere, it'd be with people that have already spent money with you, which leads us a little bit neatly into lifetime value of customers. Because if you get somebody comes back to you and buys more than once, you've just doubled their lifetime value to you.
Yeah.
And if you can get them coming back repeatedly, 12 times in a year, for a decade, that one bit of marketing that you did at the front where you spent all that time and energy, then it just costs so much little to go and get them to spend another 119 times in the next 10 years with you. That customer that might be spending, say, £50, $50 or whatever it is on a kart track visit with you, that suddenly becomes, if I've done my maths right, £6,000 or dollars. Now, how much would a £6,000 customer be worth in terms of your marketing to you and your business?
Well, that's exactly it. Your lifetime customer value dictates how much you can afford to spend to get a customer.
Absolutely.
Lifetime customer value is a little bit harder to calculate, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's a moving trend. So what you're looking for, when I'm sort of working with businesses, I'm just asking them to look at lifetime value of customer is a number that should just be increasing all the time. Because as you think about it, there's just a row of customers that are spending more and more money. That number just needs to be going in the right direction, and you know that you're already winning. The other comment to make about lifetime value of customer as well is the people and the businesses that tend to do well at this are the ones that are prepared to go underwater quite a bit. How much are you willing to spend to go and get the customer to come and spend with you for that first time? The second thing then is how confident are you that you can get people to return to your track?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the disconnects in karting. The great karting disconnect. Someone
said that in a previous video.
It's getting more of your customers back a second or a third time in a year. I don't think they put a lot of effort into that.
First of all, it's not easy.
No.
And whilst business should always be simple, it doesn't necessarily mean it's easy. This is a difficult area to get right. Because you have to go so deep into the mind of your customer and understand what they're really coming for. And once you've got that and you can tap into it, you've got a better chance of getting them to come back. And I forgot what else I was saying now. But so the first thing is people don't tend to look at it. But when you start to look at that analogy, if you can get a customer to come back, not just once, but once a month for 10 years, and the value changes from £50 to £6,000, you start to understand why this can be an extremely lucrative area, can actually set you aside, not just from other kart tracks. I'll let you into a little secret, you're not really in competition with other go-kart tracks.
No.
Because you've got your catchment area and people rarely really travel often. So you're not in competition with other kart tracks, you're in competition with everywhere else I want to go on a weekend.
Yeah, it's discretionary income.
It is.
You know, so whether it be the cinema, whether it be the pub, whether it be a restaurant, 10-pin bowling,
Yeah.
they're your real competitors.
That's right. And also into the psychology of why people turn up and do stuff. I'll give you a quick analogy on that in business. There's so many business owners who sit down and go, I pay my staff really well. You know, I don't seem to get the returns out of them sometimes. And I go, well, what have you offered them? Real hard, cold cash. And you go, great. Have you offered them pizza?
Yeah.
Like, but it's true, isn't
No,
it?
no,
Your
it is.
staff
It is.
respond so well to, hey, if we hit this target on Friday for, like, you know, everybody has pizza in the office. You'll see your employees going absolutely crazy offering for pizza. Whereas if you give them even sort of a couple of £100 bonus or something because they've done something wonderful or had wonderful customer service this week, they go, well, thank you very much. And it almost becomes forgotten about very quickly, where pizza day is like, oh, we got pizza day coming up.
Not always about money. It's about those small gestures.
That's right.
You know.
So we should maybe do a video on team and culture. We'll make a note of all this stuff because I'm saying this a lot recently, but there's lots of videos to come, as you can tell.
Yeah.
But equally, from a customer point of view, the stuff that sometimes you think would work well, so in the case of employees you think cold hard cash, and yet pizza does a better job. What is it that they're really tapping into that they can get on board with quickly?
It's not that 5 or 10% discount.
No, it's too cold, and I'm just 10% discount is just like, I'll let you into a little secret. You know this. Whenever I hear the words or read the words 10% discount to get some customers in, I just shudder. Because it's like, there's no value in there, it doesn't understand the customer. Why are you giving me 10%? I had a text recently from a well-known kart track trying to entice me back in. So genuinely kudos to them for texting me first of all, because all the rest haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, crikey, the first offer, they said name of track, 10% off this weekend. And I'm like, why are you giving me 10% off? And it was so random.
Yeah.
I was like, right, so now you've just devalued your track. Why not go name of track? We've just sourced the best coffee in the world. Do you want to come and try it? People often say it tastes better than the high street brands that you know and love.
Yeah.
I would be like, well, I'm going to come down and find out if you're telling the truth or not.
Or we tweaked the track whilst we were closed down. The lap record is now up for grabs. You know, that's a far more enticing, and you've given away nothing.
That's right.
Because you don't have to, because these guys have been locked up for 3 months. And they've got a wad of cash burning a hole in their back pocket.
Well, that's it. And I just, we talked about smack talking all our friends before, and you know if you're friends with me because I'll start like ripping into you with jokes, and that's how me and my friends communicate. And a lot of male friendships I think are like this, and female, but on the whole male friendships. As soon as you start to tap into that, you really start to, you're one of the in-crowd.
It's about developing raving fans, isn't it? Bringing that customer just that step closer to you.
Yeah, and getting them involved on their level. So that's right, the Smackdown talk is all about, if I can go and make jokes with my friends and we can go and we all have a bit of a joke there, I will more likely come and bring my friends down there.
Yeah.
Because it's not about the money. You know, I'm not like some multi-millionaire. You know, money's okay. So I just now want an experience, and all my friends who I hang out with, they're all business owners, they've all got money. We are looking for experiences where we can go and have a laugh and a joke and muck around at one of our expenses, and we'll all take it in turns to go and be the butt end of the joke, and we'll just go and muck around together. And if you can create that at your go-kart track, we'll spend a lot of money with you, often.
Yeah, go-karting at most tracks is an in-and-out experience. It's just you rock in there, you do your karting, and then you bugger off.
Yeah.
That's why, you know, we often go on a rant about creating entertainment destinations.
Yeah.
It's about having a number of activities that draw people to your venue,
Yeah.
and then you keep them there longer. Karting Spectacular, we talked about the guy who had a kart track, and he added arcades, laser tag, bouncy castles, dodging cars.
Yeah.
His business grew by 30%. Those new activities only accounted for 20% of his revenue.
Mm-hmm.
The 10% more came on kart rides and on kids' kart rides because of the activities he put in.
See, there's a lot in there. So when we talked about ACV in the last video, we talked about lifetime value of customers now. Because there's quite a big capital expenditure there to go and bring that amount of business in. Now, I'm sure they did, but I hope they did. The kart track that did that, I hope they sat down and worked their numbers out so that they managed the risk of capital expenditure in their business to give a return. I love what they've done, and it's a bold move, and businesses and being entrepreneurial is about taking risks. We hope it's managed and not just, this seems like a good idea.
Yeah.
We'll spend a bunch of money on this and I hope it'll work. So that's the first takeaway I get from that. And the second thing is there's so much you can do for almost no money. How about if I got a big trophy? What if I got a 3-foot high trophy and said you win this if you get the fastest lap today on a kart track, and I maybe have 2 in a day. So there's like the that sort of late morning into early afternoon session, and then from 6 p.m. till 9:30, 10 p.m. or whatever time the track shuts. Okay, if you hang around, we're going to give you the trophy. And I'd have groups of people hanging back to see if their mate is going to win the personal best trophy. While they go and sit and have a few beers, a bit of food, and find out how they're getting on.
Yeah.
That would work, and it cost me what? I don't know what. Trophies aren't expensive. Fantastic marketing tool.
You're probably looking at you want something decent.
Yeah.
You know, you'd probably get away with 30, 40 quid.
That'd be so worth it. A £30 trophy that can hold on to maybe a dozen people that are spending money on your food and drink at your establishment. You are definitely going to cover your costs for a very small outlay to go and try that out. Look, what a fantastic offer. Some of the offers could even, it doesn't quite work. I was going to say, I was almost tempted, I almost fell into the trap. It would be even easier to go and give them an offer of another race. But it's the visual aspect of the trophy that works in this instance. And whoever takes that home then will have a huge trophy where everybody's going to go, what's that for? And you go, I won personal best at the local track and I won the trophy. And they go, right, well, now we're all talking about the local kart track that they probably weren't going to talk about before. And secondly, they're going, I want a trophy like that. Because we are as shallow as that sometimes. Yeah, so, I mean, this, just to tie it back in, lifetime value of customer, we've got to get into that psychology of why people actually come to karting and what switches them on to go and have an experience and to come back again. And also then how deep are you prepared to go? I don't know, if there's 6 people come for a karting session spending £300 between them, I'm not sure what the profit margins would be on that. I don't know what the gross profit margin, you will know watching this, or I hope you know watching this video. Let's just say the gross profit margin on that is £180. For argument's sake, just to pluck a figure out of the air. If you know for sure that you can get them to return 2.5 times because you've unlocked a way to do that, you can actually go very deep on your marketing spend. You could spend £180 and just break even on their first visit, knowing that before the end of that quarter or the end of that year, they're going to return you an extra £500-600. Where most kart track, let's be honest about it, most kart track visitors, they come once every 1.5 or 2 years, and you're making £180. If you can go deep enough that you break even and get them back 2 or 3 times in a year, that is absolutely dynamite entrepreneurial thinking. Well worth a try.
That is the real key to having a successful kart track.
It is.
And a pillar of the kart track profit system.
It is. Well, this is the sort of stuff we've both sat in accelerator business sessions, haven't we? And this is where, when you get business owners talking, and this conversation, every time we do them, we have a little outline sketch of what we're going to talk about. We don't plan them to minutiae detail.
No.
So just talking like that is just something that we've just come up with. But that sort of breakthrough thinking will transform tracks overnight. And again, it's simple, it's not easy, but it is very simple to go and move from £180 profit from 6 people into £600-700 profit for 6 people if you get your approach right and understand what they're really buying into.
Yeah.
The lifetime value then looks after itself. Now, the other great news is the uplift on that is it's sort of J-curves. So very quickly now, we've got ACV. If you've not put your prices up for a while, 10% bare minimum is just so simple to achieve. Very simple to get to a 20% growth using ACV. You add on that to LTV, where we've just shown you how you could treble the income that you make off a group of people inside of a year. So you're actually trebling, not your initial profit margin, you're trebling the 25% growth at the beginning, and trebling that, you've now, crikey, that just starts to compound.
Yeah.
And once you get into compounding profits quickly, your track transforms, and if you think about that and retro-engineer it, the amount of work you've had to do that actually is minimal. And this is where the difference between 2 tracks, one seemingly doing all the right stuff, bumping along, and one doing something very similar, actually making an absolutely huge profit. And when you look at it just cold and just a quick glance, they look like they're doing the same thing. This huge track over here has just got a few things right with minimal effort, making huge profit. This is what Cart Track Profit Systems actually starts to help people understand and really get into the skin of. I feel like I've been on a bit of a podium speech today, and really out there should be campaigning.
We both are very passionate about average customer value and average lifetime value, because you know, there's really 2 key numbers that can really drive your business.
It also warrants better questions as well.
Yeah.
Because once you start to understand ACV and LTV, and ACV was in the previous video, you put those together, there's a better quality of question. And if we look at lifetime value, LTV, the better question is, how do I get them to spend more money with me? And that opens up like real thinking and deep proper thinking. And proper thinking around your business, even for brief periods of time, maybe an hour, hour and a half in a day, transform your outcomes in your business.
I mean, it's a damn shame, because most people don't get involved with you know, the accelerated business groups and those sorts of things. And it is a truly, you know, eye-opening and life-changing experience, because you're hanging around with like-minded people, and we all know the thinking's different.
Yeah.
And they get your world, and you start thinking and talking about problems in different ways, and you can just have these huge movements in your business.
Yeah.
It's just a shame more people don't do it.
On that somber note, now we've just built the crescendo to a point where we're all happy and jubilant. No, okay.
Okay.
But no, I think, well, I don't know how long we've been rambling on for today.
No.
There's more of this to come, I feel.
Yeah, I think so. We just. I mean, I really enjoy our chats, because though, you know, we've been working together 3 or 4 years now, but every time we sit down at this table with a cup of tea, I learn something new.
Yeah, it's like you have to revisit and reinvent, don't you, constantly, and it does. New stuff comes out of that type of thing.
Yeah. All right. On that point,
there's more of this to come. You've been warned, but we're going to go for now.
Yeah. And we'll see you next week.